dramatize the struggle of the twins. Like Jacob, we all have a twin. Esau isn't just Jacob's older brother. He is the person who is like us, but better. From our earliest recollection, we are measuring ourselves against some Esau, some image of what we think we should be. We knock ourselves out to fill the image, to become more like the twin who haunts us through life. It's the only way we know how to get his blessing, the one we believe should have been ours in the first place. But no matter what we do, it is never good enough because we believe Esau would have done it better. When our parents tried sincerely to affirm us as children, what we actually heard was, "That's not bad," for Jacob. Even if we had no siblings, or even if we were the star child of the family, we still had to compete with Esau, who was the better image of ourselves. When we achieved success later in life, regardless of how good it was, we continued to taint every celebration by whispering to ourselves, "Yeah, but Esau would have done it better." We are very ambivalent about this twin, finding that our hearts are filled with both hate and envy. We hate the fact that Esau is what we are not, but we want so much to be like him that he takes on the power of a god in our lives. For that reason, Esau has become an evil twin. In our minds, we have turned him into a taskmaster whom we will never satisfy. Jacob, an American story. Jacob's name means striver or hustler. He had so much drive and ambition that he could have been the poster child for the American dream. Our society has always admired those of the huddled masses who came to this country with little, but through hard work were able to make something of themselves. I know about that drive. I was raised on Long Island, which is divided by a long railroad track. Those on the North Shore enjoy affluent communities, where Mom drives the Lexus to the train station to drop off her husband, who commutes into New York City. She then deposits the kids at private schools and races off to her tennis lessons. When time permits, she joins her friends in a little charity work where they raise money for those less fortunate than themselves. It is a life of privilege, comfort, and enviable blessings. At least, that was the view we had from the other side of the railroad tracks, where I was raised. Our dads, if we had them, worked hard at blue-collar jobs, if they had them. We weren't unhappy and certainly didn't consider ourselves poor, but we knew our opportunities were limited. Some of my friends were content to live out their lives in that community where the most they could hope for was a job, a nice tract home, and a son who would someday be the star of the high school football team. But others of us were determined to do whatever it took to escape the place where we started in life. Like Jacob, I knew that there were those who had it made, and those who would have to make it happen. I was in the second group. I now have a great family, a beautiful home, and a good job. I am the pastor of the National Presbyterian Church in Washington, D.C. It certainly isn't the largest church in our denomination, but it does have a rather large steeple, which is really important to us strivers. I worked hard to get through college, seminary, and graduate school. I've knocked myself out to do well as an associate pastor, and then as the pastor of a middle-sized church, to finally become the senior pastor of a large church. By every measurable standard of life, I have crossed the railroad tracks. But none of the happiness I have found in life has come from the things I achieved. All of it came from the gifts I received along the way. Not long into my tenure as the pastor of our church, I realized I was equipped with just the right neurosis to lead our congregation. We are a church that is jam-packed with Jacobs. There is really very little blue blood in our ranks. Washington is a city whose favorite myth is that anyone can come from anywhere to make something of himself or herself here. From the politicians on down to the lowly interns who slave away at copy machines all day, we are a city filled with strivers. In that regard, we are an all-American town. There is a great deal of cynicism about Washington, but we are a city created by the rest of the nation.